And one of your books was entitled The Wounded Healer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe you could place that in the experience.
Yeah.
You weren't pontificating, and you weren't trying to tell people how they should live the life of perfection. You were speaking from your own wounded...
Well, it's interesting you say that, because the book, The Wounded Healer, I wrote basically shortly after I sort of had left Holland definitively to come to the United States and to start teaching at Yale University at the Divinity School. And I experienced a period of deep loneliness there, enormous inner kind of alienation even. Here I was, you know, in New Haven, Connecticut. I left Holland. I sort of left my family and friends, and I decided to make a life in the United States. And I experienced pain, and I experienced lack of friendship and the need for, and then I started to slowly realize that maybe the experience of loneliness and the experience of separation might just not be a negative thing. It might, first of all, bring me more in touch with other people's experience of loneliness, but also, if I would not run away from it, but feel it through all the way, it might become fruitful. And suddenly I had this idea that loneliness, which is a wound, which is a pain, when you not run away from it, but feel it through, and sort of stand up in it, so to say, and look it right in the face, that there is something there that can be a source of hope, and that sort of in the middle of the pain there is some gift hidden. And I more and more in my life have discovered that the gifts of life are often hidden in the places that most hurt. And
can you tell us how you make the connection? Because most of us, myself included, when we feel the discomfort of loneliness or whatever, emotional pain, the tendency is to want to run away from it and seek relief. And now you're saying there's a better way.
Yeah, I'm saying you can stand in the pain. I always like the idea of Mary standing under the cross, sort of stabat mater. Mary stood there. She didn't faint, she didn't fiddle around, she was standing in her pain. And I think one of the great challenges of life is to dare to stand in your pain and to trust that there is something beyond that is safe.
What begins to happen? How do you...
Well, what begins to happen is something like the experience that there is safety beyond the pain. That if you enter in it, it's not so frightening as you thought it was. And that underneath your loneliness, there is a experience of being held safe.
By whom?
Well, by whom? I don't know what the right way to say by God, although that's what I came to more and more. But I want to say by a sense of by held safe by life that is larger than death, by love that is stronger than fear. There's something greater, and for me, that's been the courage of living, to enter into the pain and to discover underneath there a love that has a personal name.
I wonder if it's part of God's design to bring us to Him through the pain of life. Sometimes we don't find ourselves adequate to deal with the situation, and we fall back on something else, this support that you speak of.
See, I know it for myself so much that if I experience loneliness or anguish, I distract myself. I go do something so that I don't feel it.
Yes,
but it always disappoints me.
Yes.
And in the long run, I'm more lonely. I'm more anguished. And I've discovered that if I when I could just stay with it and live it to the full, not just accept it, but sort of taste it, chew on it, I would nearly say. It said, I'm lonely, yes, and let me feel it. Interestingly enough, I discovered there's much more strength in me than I realized. And in a way, the strength is not coming from me, but it's coming indeed from someone who holds me, who loves me long before I came into life, and who will love me long after I have died. But it's not an intellectual
We haven't
conviction.
said the word Jesus in this, and I wonder how you would place Jesus into the experience.
Well, Jesus for me is the center of it all. Jesus for me is the one who helps me discover that God has loved me before I even was born and will still love me after I've died. And that love of God is a love that is before and after any other human being or any human being has touched me. I mean, that the mystery of knowing Jesus is the mystery of knowing a God who embraces me much wider and deeper, than any human being can do.